Today we are reviewing Dior Homme Intense. Dior Homme Intense is one of the most beautiful designer fragrances that I've ever tried. I'm a really big fan of Dior in general, but Dior Homme Intense is one of those extremely popular timeless fragrances I think is going to be around for a very long time. Now, to complete these single perfume reviews, we're going to be answering 6 questions, which you'll see come up on your screen. So firstly, how does it smell? Well, Dior Homme Intense is one of the most beautiful designer fragrances that I've tried. It centers around the note of iris, as does most of the Dior Homme line. Iris can smell differently depending on how it's made with other ingredients, and different iris perfumes do give you a different type of smell. The iris used in Dior Homme Intense is quite powdery, it's clean, it's woody, it's very professional and formal. It has this kind of clean, office safe feeling. That's what you get when you smell Dior Homme Intense. You might recognize a iris note in fragrances like Prada L'Homme. That's a men's designer fragrance that utilizes the note of iris, and it's used in a similar way in that it smells very formal and professional. So Dior Homme Intense does have some fruity notes as well. There's a slight note of pear, which just adds a hint of fruitiness to a fragrance which otherwise would be quite woody and powdery. Dior Homme Intense smells quite warming, but there's a cleanliness that runs through the whole life of this fragrance, and it's built into the iris, the lavender and the cedarwood that is in the base of the fragrance. So, when do I wear Dior Homme Intense? I wear Dior Homme Intense mainly to formal occasions. I remember about 2 years ago, I wore this to a job interview. I thought it was a really appropriate fragrance to wear to that situation because it gives off this sophisticated, formal, smart vibe. That's what you want to present yourself as when you're in a job interview. But equally, if you're going to a wedding, any formal party, even just going to the office every day, Dior Homme Intense works really well in that situation. Situations where I wouldn't wear this would be casual situations when I'm just chilling at home. Not that you couldn't wear it, it's just for me it fits more it just suits more of a formal situation fragrance, and that's when I like to wear it. I also wouldn't wear it to the gym because I don't really see a powdery iris scent appropriate to wear to the gym, and it's not something I would wear. But any formal situation when you want to come across really smart and professional, Dior Homme Intense is absolutely perfect. Now, it sits in the middle of the Dior Homme line, so you have Dior Homme Original, you have Dior Homme Intense and Dior Homme Parfum. There are some other Dior Hommes, but the main 3 that I've got experience of are Original, Intense and Parfum. This one sits in the middle of those ones. So Dior Homme Original is I guess you could say the lightest. It hasn't got any pear notes or anything like that. It's very woody and powdery. Dior Homme Intense just adds a bit more character, a bit more punch. You have the fruity pear note, and you just have more of a sweetness and a stronger fragrance. Dior Homme Parfum is another story. It's on steroids. It's a very strong, quite polarizing fragrance that's not suitable to wear to many situations like Dior Homme Intense is. So, how does it perform and how much does it cost? Performance on Dior Homme Intense is really good for this type of fragrance. It's not a very strong projecting fragrance, but that's not really something you want, is it? When you're wearing something for a formal situation, a classy fragrance, a fragrance that you want people to kind of find on you, a delicate smelling powdery iris. You don't really want a heavy beast mode fragrance, so the performance on this is perfect for what it is. What you will find is this will last a long time on your skin, and even if you wake up the next day and smell your arm where you've sprayed it, you'll still pick out some of the base notes. The price varies depending if you buy it directly from Dior or a retail store or a discounter. This is a 150ml bottle. On Dior's website, it's around £130. I pick up this on a discounted website normally for around £110 for 150ml. I think with the amount of fragrances that are on the market at the moment and the prices, that is a fair price for what you get because this is super high quality and very enjoyable. Question number 4, are there any alternatives? Yes, you have Dior Homme Original that we spoke about, Dior Homme Parfum to some extent. If you really love the iris note in Dior Homme Intense and you want something that is more experimental, you want something stronger, you want a beast mode, head-turning fragrance, Dior Homme Parfum is certainly one to try. A couple of other alternatives could be Prada L'Homme, which we spoke about. It's much more cleaner than Dior Homme Intense. It's more basic and smells like clean laundry. You also have Valentino Uomo Intense, which has a sort of bad boy leather note, great for a night out, and Givenchy Gentleman EDP, which adds a vanilla sweetness to that iris DNA. There's some alternatives for you, but Dior Homme Intense smells the highest quality when you compare it against Valentino Uomo Intense and Givenchy Gentleman EDP. Do I like it? Well, as you can tell from this review, I really do enjoy this. What I find interesting about Dior Homme Intense and Iris fragrances in general is there doesn't seem to be many clones. We're living in a time where clone fragrances are becoming so popular. I'm not too keen on clone fragrances in general. I haven't tried many that do a better job than the original fragrance they're copying, but there are not many clone fragrances of Iris fragrances. I haven't smelled any clone fragrance or heard of a clone fragrance of Dior Homme Intense. And lastly, would I buy it again? I would buy it again, yes. Even if I didn't have my sample website and I had all these fragrances just for my personal use, Dior Homme Intense is one I would want to be in my collection for those formal professional situations when I want to come across really well put together and I want to smell expensive and luxurious. I think Dior Homme Intense is one of the best designer fragrances on the market. When you wear this, you just are filled with a confidence because you know that you smell really good and professional, and especially if you're wearing a nicer suit than you normally wear, nicer clothes than you normally wear, like you're going to a wedding, you're dressing up a bit nicer than you normally do. When you spray this on, you are given an added confidence, and that for me is one of the best things that fragrances can do for you. So yes, I would buy Dior Homme Intense again. I think it's fantastic, and I think you should have it in your collection if you are really into fragrances. This is my review of Dior Homme Intense. Let me know, what do you think of it, and is it your favorite from the Dior Homme line?